Park. The word alone can strike fear into the hearts of Los Angelinos, as in, where the frick am I gonna park? But today we're talking city parks. I'm gonna be traveling all over LA, visiting 5 places managed by the LA Department of Recreation and Parks to answer the question, what is LA's strangest, weirdest, most unusual park? I'm gonna be rating everything on a scale of 1 to 5 against a number of different criteria, and I might even talk a little history, have a couple bites along the way. So why don't you park your butt down? Let's get started. We're beginning the day in the Valley, believe it or not, at one of LA's most iconic landmarks, Sherman Oaks Castle Park. That's right, this 3.3-acre paradise of AstroTurf nestled right between the 101, 405, and the LA River is a LA city park managed by the Department of Parks and Rec. Here it is on the LA Parks giant list of parks. As you can see, Sherman Oaks Castle Park is in fact a park. Now, mini golf has been in LA for like over 100 years. Here are some images of one that was on the corner of Beverly and Fairfax. You might recognize that building in the background that ironically is still under construction today. This one in particular was built in the 70s on land that was managed by the Parks Department and leased to Malibu Castle. This is what it looked like in the 80s in an episode of Remington Steele. As you can see, it looks very similar to how it does today. And here are some clips from Chips, the TV show Chips, that allegedly show the interior of Castle Park. I've also heard that the original Malibu Castle didn't have an arcade in the interior, so I don't know, maybe this is like a set. Anyways, here I am at park number 1, Sherman Oaks Castle Park in beautiful Sherman Oaks, California. And I'm gonna play a round of golf. So I was talking to the guy when I was renting my club. He said that everyone who works here is a LA City employee, which is cool, and they get benefits, and people generally seem to like the job because they stay for a while. The courses are owned by the city, and the arcade is too, I believe. Now, the city didn't build it, it actually took it over in the early 90s. In the late 80s, it had fallen into disrepair. It's actually Army Corps of Engineers land, managed by the parks and was leased to Malibu Castle. It's crazy. We're really up here right against the freeway. It's loud as hell. And there she is, the castle of Sherman Oaks Castle Park. Boy, is that thing enticing when you're driving on the freeway. Doesn't it always make you want to pull over and play around? Right across from it, you can see all this like Army Corps stuff, like all of these crates with, I mean, who knows what's in there. Those big canvas dome buildings, whatever those things are. It is such a classic, beautiful LA fall day. Dry, warm. The sun is just like so bright. The bops are bopping. Look at how bright orange those things are. Sherman Oaks Castle Park mini golf and botanic gardens. A truly pleasant stroll in the park. I'm having a blast. $12, just walk around the grounds and test your skill, play a round of golf. All right, this is gonna be a hole-in-one. I swear I'm actually really good at mini golf. That's the one. All right, here's the ball return. There we go, what a blast. Arcades have changed a little bit. Just trying to find like something classic, like a skee ball. Well, let's try this one. Bro, the millennials got to skee ball. So no coins, no tickets, it all goes on a card. Apple Pay. Hello. Yeah, I wanted to know how many tickets I had. Cool, thank you. 55, is that a lot? Labubu Hoo. I got this little guy. I think it's a seahorse. Now all that golfing and bag chucking worked up quite an appetite, so I headed over to the food court. You can take a look at the menu here, but I only had one thing on my mind. Can I please get nachos and a small slush puppy? Did you think I wasn't gonna get something to eat? Here at Sherman Oaks Castle Park with a big plate of nachos and a slush puppy brand slushie. Very cherry flavored. Pretty generous with the cheese. It's the same cheese you get everywhere. You know what this cheese tastes like. I bet you can kind of taste it just by looking at it. All right, now let's get down to rating this place. Every park I visit, I will rate against 5 criteria. The first, does it feel like a park? Second, do I feel like transported, or do I just still feel like I'm in LA? 3, is there nature? 4, are there activities? And 5, is it the kind of place you want to have a picnic? Because to me, picnicking is like one of the best things a park can offer. So on the first point, does it feel like a park? I mean, at first glance, no, because it's like a mini golf course, but you know, there are paths to wander. Kids are running around playing. It's nicely landscaped. And I'm just like sitting on a bench eating, which I do in parks all the time. So like, yeah, it does actually feel like a park, a special kind of park. Now, do I feel transported? Sure, there's like a castle and a dragon, but there's also like a bunch of freeway noise. The sort of kitschiness feels very like Southern California, and you can't ignore like the Disneyland influence. So do I feel transported? No, I feel like I'm in LA. Or at least like Southern California, which isn't a bad thing because I like choose to live here. Now the nature score of it, it's certainly not like natural. It's landscaped with like non-native plants, lawn, grass, and palm trees and stuff. But it is a little bit of an oasis here among the freeway, among like the Army Corps storage space over there, whatever it is. It's a sort of fake nature, but yeah, it's kind of natural. There's trees, I like that. 4, activities. Boy, are there ever activities. The arcade, mini golf, batting cages. I mean, this place is as jam-packed full of activities as a park can be. So it gets a big point there. Can I picnic there? Yeah, I mean, I'm not like laying out a blanket on the lawn, but sitting here at like a cool picnic table, like the striped umbrella. I mean, what am I doing if not picnicking? So I say, yeah, absolutely, you can picnic here. So Sherman Oaks Castle Park, against my criteria, gets a 4 out of 5, but really this whole experience, I mean, this is a 5 out of 5. Can't recommend it more. I'm gonna be having my birthday party here this year, and I expect you to be there. Now, who wants to watch me hit a few dingers? Right across the street from Castle Park, you can get down to the LA River, so I thought I'd take a little stroll and check it out. It's looking pretty dry. Designed by the Army Corps of Engineers after like a big flood. I think Woody Guthrie wrote a song about it.
Wild Los Angeles River in that fatal New Year's flood.
Looks kind of fresh and nice. The shade of these sycamore trees. The LA River was just like one of the options that they considered. They also considered building like a big greenway. I think they called it like LA's Emerald Necklace. And it would have been like a permeable network of parks that would absorb the water down into the aquifer, like use the water to feed trees and nature and stuff. But I guess instead they went with this concrete channel.
All right, enough yapping. Time for our next location, Toot Toot.
From mini golf to big trains, we're at the next weird LA park, the Travel Town Museum.
Nestled on the edge of Griffith Park on the Burbank side, you will find the Travel Town Museum, which opened in 1952 as a passion project for a few folks at the Parks Department, and it's been delighting train enthusiasts ever since, young and old, and a totally normal place for a middle-aged man to spend a Sunday afternoon by himself.
LA isn't the only place in the world to have like a train museum run by some like municipal entity, but this one's like really big. I don't even know if like you can capture the scale of this train station thing. These trains are very big. They got all these old coaches and engines, some old fresh air trolleys, freight train cars. We got like an oil tanker, all just in this grassy corner of Griffith Park. Men only want one thing, and it's disgusting. Again, here we're right on the edge of the freeway, but the sad thing is we have a little reminder of like what could be. If only we invested more in miniature train infrastructure.
There is a little indoor display area with some cool artifacts from like the train days, and some passenger coaches that you could walk through, which is kind of fun. I mean, you can't do that in your average park.
Got a little treat at the gift shop at Travel Town here in Griffith Park. So far, it's turning out to be a pretty pleasant day at the parks. Travel Town definitely has like less to do. It's still very, very nice. I can see this being like a very fun, low stress place to have like a 6th birthday party. Big chunk of mango, bringing me back to life. Train's pulling into the station and it's time to break it down. How does Traveltown rate on our criteria of what makes a weird LA park? So first off, does it feel like a park? Yeah, definitely. At least feels a lot more like a park than the last place. Like, it's not too hard to conceive that a city might manage a travel museum like with old trains. So next up, do I feel transported? A little bit, yeah. Even though we still are like right up against the freeway, there's nothing super like LA about this. I mean, we're pretty much halfway to like a living history museum, which is not like an LA thing, or at least I don't associate them with LA. Because it's old-timey, it feels like a little small town or something. So how is the nature of it all? It's pretty nice where I'm sitting here, like under these trees at these picnic tables. But in general, no, it's not very naturey. It feels like pretty industrial. Lots of concrete, that railroad ballast. I can see nature. I can see like the hillside in Griffith Park, but no, it doesn't feel very naturey here. It feels like a rail yard, which I guess it kind of has to. Now for activities, Sherman Oaks Castle Park is a hard act to follow, but this place has got some trains you can climb up into, and of course, the miniature train to ride, which is $4 for adults, $3 for kids. So yeah, I mean, pretty good on activities for like a city park. Finally, could you picnic here? And I mean, yeah, there's like a lot of these concrete tables under the shade. I can imagine pulling out some peanut butter and jelly sandwiches after letting the kids run around for a couple hours. So in summary, that gives the Traveltown Museum a 4 out of 5 via my criteria, but a real 5 out of 5 experience. It's great here.
Now, I had a train to catch, so here is footage of me hurrying to make it to my next weird LA park.
Here we are at our next park, Carthay Circle Park. It's a strip of land with a dirt path and grass on a couple sides. It's right next to San Vicente and Crescent Heights on the other side. Very loud with traffic. One of the nice things, though, is that there's a big tree here. There's also a statue of some guy, maybe like Gold Rush era guy. The whole park is maybe like 60 yards on one side, a couple stones. This one's kind of cool because it's got like a crack up the middle and a bench, which is kind of nice. Here is a plaque memorial to the gallant pioneers of 49, so it is 49ers. Very minimal landscaping there, and that pretty much sums up the park, and also I'm at the other end of the park, so that's the end of the park, if you can even really call it a park.
But you can call it a park. It's a park. It's right there on the list of parks, so I don't know what to tell you. I don't know. Take it up with someone else, buddy.
It's more just like kind of unusable piece of land in that you can't build any like residential or commercial real estate here in an area that used to be like pretty nice. Like Carthay Circle is a kind of historic part of town, but now it's just stroads and commercial buildings and stuff.
This is what that office park looked like in its heyday. In the 1930s, the Carthay Circle Theater, a big movie theater where they had a bunch of premieres, like Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs premiered there. Here you can actually see the same statue. And here's a shot from above. And this is what it looks like now. The park is right, hold on, let me point it out right there. That's my hand.
Of course, this little park that's managed by the Parks Department, because I guess like if it wasn't, it would likely just become like a dumping ground. So someone has to kind of steward it. And it's one of many of these like pocket parks. I don't even know if they call it that, but just small pieces of land that are managed by the Parks Department. So like, does it feel like a park? It does. It has a bench, but you know, if you spread your gaze to the edges of it, you can see we're really just sort of like in a small median between a bunch of busy roads. The transportation score, like, do I feel transported? Absolutely not. I'm just like in the middle of traffic. I feel like at any moment a car could just like leap over the curb and take me out. Nature score, very low. I mean, we're pretty much just like in a traffic circle. Would I want to picnic here? I barely want to stand here. So I guess that gives it like a 0 out of 5. Could I recommend visiting Carthay Circle Park? No.
Well, we're off to bigger, better things. That's right, the Hollywood Bowl. Or hold on, let me flip that around. The Hollywood Bowl. Back in Griffith Park, this time on the Hollywood side. And yes, the Hollywood Bowl is a park, so you could just straight up walk in there.
Pretty neat walking around here while it's like quiet and abandoned. Holy cow. Let me tell you, when I come to the bowl, I am not sitting down here. I'm taking like a number of escalator rides.
So this is what the Hollywood Bowl looked like on the day I visited, and this is what it looked like on the day it was founded in 1920, just a dirt hill. Here's a photo of the LA Phil the next year for their first Easter sunrise service. Not a bad crowd. Here's an image of the first shell that they ever built. They've had a number of different shells over the years. This is the one that they built in 1925, the year that it was deeded to LA County from the Arts Alliance, the organization that founded it. And in 1959, it fell under the management of the Parks Department jointly with the LA Phil. This is what it looked like at the time during its reflecting pool era.
And to think Gustavo Dudamel was standing right there at some point. The bowl is pretty cool. It's not like Red Rocks or even like the Gorge or the Les Schwab Amphitheater, but I mean, it's cool, especially because their programming is pretty unique. You get to see like the movies with the live orchestra. And you know, when you're coming here to see a show, the picnicking is, whew, that's some real great picnicking. I know people love doing stairs in LA. This is a decent set of stairs. Feels a little bit smaller when there's not like a million people around. What's really cool over here, it really is just kind of carved into this hillside. It's pretty neat. So this is managed by the parks, open to the public as long as there's not like a performance going on or some sort of like rehearsal. But I do know you can come to see the Phil perform or like practice, do their rehearsals before shows. And I think that's free. All right, I'm gonna find a seat. We can tally up the scores. Taking a little sit down at picnic area 7 here at the Hollywood Bowl on a Sunday afternoon. Quite a view up here. Spanish tile roofs with the palm trees and the downtown skyline. It smells good too. I can smell like the pine trees that have been baking in the sun. So let's get down to the score, park score. It's funny, especially now that I'm away from the actual auditorium, it very much like feels like a park. Just sitting in this picnic area amongst the trees. I really should have brought something to eat. Next up, do I feel transported from LA? Now, if I don't look down at like Hollywood, it kind of does feel like I'm transported to like Topanga or like the Central Coast. So for the do I feel like I was transported out of LA score? Yeah, I do. Except for like the ever-present roar of the freeway, which I guess has been like kind of a theme of the day. It's hard to get away from it, and it seems like some of these big parks tend to abut the freeway or be abutted by the freeway. Now, the next criteria is does it feel naturey? And I am sitting on AstroTurf, and of course there is a lot of like mechanical infrastructure around me, like all that concrete, those stairs, those escalators, but it's quiet and I can hear the rustling of the leaves and the chirping of the birds. I was watching some lizards skitter around, so I think that gets a pass on the natureiness of it all. Now, for activities, there isn't that much to do other than just walk around, sit around. Would have been nice to bring a little picnic. Unless you're coming here just to like walk up the stairs for like fitness or something, I'd say it doesn't get a pass for activities. I mean, there's no like playground for kids. There's no like fishing or anything. And finally, would I like to have a picnic here? I would. This is a good place to have a picnic. I would consider like bringing food here if I was like in Hollywood and I just wanted like a place to sit and relax, or even to like come here specifically for a picnic. It's like very chill. It's very scenic and it's very pleasant, and there is ample parking if you do drive here, because those lots fill up when there are shows, but when there are not, it's really easy to get like front row parking. So for the final strange LA park score, the Hollywood Bowl as a park gets a 4 out of 5. But it's really nice, and I look forward to coming back again, not just for a performance, but maybe to come just relax.
We're staying in Hollywood for our 5th and final weird park. It's Barnsdall Art Park, this grassy hill right in the middle of Hollywood. Now, the story of this hill as a park started in 1919 when Aline Barnsdall, an oil heiress, bought this olive orchard to build an art complex. Here's what the hill looked like in 1895. Now, she commissioned Frank Lloyd Wright to design the complex, starting with her private residence, the Hollyhock House. She ended up not really liking the interior of the house, so she began donating parts of this complex to the Parks Department, thinking that maybe the Hollyhock House could be a library. But she had conditions for this donation, like not allowing war memorials be built, and the Parks Department didn't like that. So there were decades of fighting, and the park was kind of neglected. Here's an image of one of the other Frank Lloyd Wright buildings that got demolished. Well, I headed up the hill to the park proper. These are a bunch of those olive trees that existed from the original orchard, and boy, the views up here are pretty nice.
But like over the past few decades, it's gone through a number of like pretty serious renovations. And now it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site, which is kind of cool. And at least like the past 5 or 6 years, it's been like a very popular park to come hang out in a part of the city that doesn't have like a ton of parks. Yeah, it's pretty chill. And the views are pretty nice. Brought something to eat this time. I won't make the same mistake twice. I got a wrap from Zanku Chicken, the one on Sunset. Is that one of the legit ones? I don't know. That's not a controversy I'm willing to dig into right now, but I've got something to eat while I'm out here on a picnic blanket, ready to give this my weird LA park rating. All right, you know what? That looks pretty good. So first off, does it feel like a park? Yeah, absolutely. This is more a park than like any other place I've been to today. We got people lounging, picnicking, we got dogs, everything short of like playing Frisbee. So yeah, this place definitely feels like a park. Now, do I feel like I've been transported out of LA? No, and less so than any of the other ones, except for maybe like Carthay Circle Park. I mean, between like the Hollywood sign, the story of the oil heiress gone artist, the Frank Lloyd Wright building, very much in LA, but like, you know, in a good way. For the nature score, like, yeah, we're outdoors. There's like a nice breeze. There's some trees and stuff. And I do like those pine trees. I think they're redwoods. But like a lot of this park is just like a big grass lawn. And even going back to like the olive trees, which are like planted for agriculture, score's pretty low in terms of nature. For activities, there are kind of a lot because there's art stuff that goes on. There's like a number of buildings for like events, activities. And they do offer tours of the Hollyhock House. You have to do them in advance. Outside of those structured events, the activity is just like hanging out with your friends, doing like a birthday picnic or like an awkward second date. It's funny, it's always like a very millennial crowd up here. I don't know why. And finally, is it a place where you'd want to have a picnic? Oh, big time, baby. It's like Picnic City up here. I mean, this is the picnic destination in this part of town. So against my criteria, it gets a 3 out of 5, but a picnic at the Barnsdall Art Park, well, it's always a 5 out of 5 experience.
And on my way out, you know I had to do some fruit picking. Olive. Just another memento, another little treasure from my beautiful day at the parks.
Wow, what a day full of weird, freaky parks. Some of them I had a blast, others were frankly not as nice. But one thing is for sure, LA's parks are just as beautiful and diverse as the residents who enjoy them.
Thank you so much for watching. I was so happy to share my park adventure with you all, and if you have any other places in LA you'd like me to check out, leave it in the comments, and you know, if you made it this far, subscribe. I would love to have you.